Hey, this is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. Welcome to another episode of Write It Out Wednesday. What a past 48 hours it's been, but I'm just happy to be before you. I'm so excited. And for those of you who don't know, Write It Out Wednesday is all about putting you back at the top of your writing list. And again, I'm Valerie McDowell. I have been working with writing and time challenge clients for many years. And since 2019, I have helped over 25 authors take their books from ideas to publish, and I can help you too. Now, tonight, I have just a quick live for you tonight, and it's about don't go overboard. And if you're on my list, you'll get an email talking about this as well, but I just wanted to throw some points out there because a lot of times when we're out setting out to write our book, we do want to include everything in the kitchen sink. And so I'm here to tell you that sometimes it's not just one book. Sometimes all of that stuff doesn't need to even be in that book. But the thing is, it's like, what does need to go in there? Or what should I be thinking about when I have a whole lot of stuff? So I want to give you 3 short points on how not to go overboard in writing your book, okay? How not to go overboard in writing your book. Because the thing is, it's like last month, my son celebrated a birthday and we had another celebration just yesterday. So we're thanking God for that, but like he's a full grown man and he loves adventure. And when I posted pictures from his birthday last month, it made me think back all the baby pictures, him growing up over the years, all the different activities and travels and different things we've experienced. And you start wanting to look at more and more and more and more. And that reminded me of what we sometimes do with our books. That, we want to put this in, and then we think about this story, and then there's another story, and then there's so many things that we want to put in our book that it's like, whoa, slow the brakes, let's just step back for a second. Because the thing is, you don't want to put everything in. It's not only not wise, but is it relevant? Is it really relevant to what you're writing? So I want to give you, like I said, 3 points on how not to go overboard in your writing. And so one of them is to have a core message. When I work with my clients, whether it's one-to-one or they're in my online course, then, one of the things we go through is that outline, but we ask some questions before we can even complete that. And that's about who is your audience? What is your message about? And the thing is, even beyond that, it's about having a core message. And what that means is like, think about your life. Think about this book you want to write. Like, what is that point that you're trying to make? And is this point, is this idea, is this something that is consistent throughout your life? Like if you're someone and timeliness or doing things at the right time, is that something that's important to you? Then you can do a series of books all having to do with time. Why doing something at the right time, makes it work better than not, doing it at the right time. Or, how being on time makes a difference in your life, when it comes to certain things. So, having a core message, so just think about it. In the same way that people brand themselves, like having your core message is part of your brand. So what is the message? What is the look, the idea that you're trying to relay to people, when you're presenting your book? Because the thing is, let it be something that can be consistent throughout your messaging. Because the thing is, people will remember you because they're like, they write those books about XYZ, that there are certain people who write like inspirational book, or they write empowering or motivational books, or there's someone who writes, like when you think of Stephen King, for instance, what do you think of? Horror. That's his core message. That's his genre. That's where he's most, he's done the most work, or there's, other authors who write, say, books about the law, like all their books are legal books or legal thrillers even. And then, T.D. Jakes is, someone I have a shelf full of books of, but he writes a lot of motivational, inspirational books. And then others, may write funny books. Like the Wimpy Kid series or, kid books. Like, what is your core message? Wimpy Kid books is about, being awkward growing up. How do you navigate school when you're the awkward kid? So there are all kinds of core messages that you can have. So what is yours? What is that message that you want to have? And the thing is being consistent, because when you think about like, this is what I represent, this is what I stand for, then think about the different books that you could actually write around that topic. You can have multiple things that you can write, and it can lead to other things that you can do because you have a core message. And that's about branding yourself. That's about people knowing. So when they think of you, they'll think of a certain message like, oh, we're doing a conference on XYZ, and we need someone to speak about safety. If your books talk about safety, then boom, your name is going to come up. Remember Jan Smith? She always talks about safety. Let's call her in. And so by having a core message, or if you write great memoirs, if you're a great storyteller and there's a conference coming into town or people are out there, or you can even put your name in the mix of people, because they're always looking to fill slots on conferences, whether online or in person, and particularly online now, they want to fill that day. If you've got 8 hours, if something is starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's going to 10 o'clock at night, you've got a lot of time to fill. So they need to put people in that meets that core message that even they're trying to connect. So if what you stand for and speak about and write about connects with an organization or in a conference or something, you can put yourself, submit an application or whatever the procedures are to get connected. Or you can just create something yourself, and being consistent, and people will find you. Because I do believe that when you walk in your gift, when you walk in your purpose, that your light shines bright, and that light is going to shine at the right time for the right people. So having a core message is my first point about how not to go overboard when writing your book. Because again, you can think about all the ideas you have, all the pictures, all the things, that come flooding to you when you set out to write a book, which is why we also do mind mapping when I work with my clients. We got to get that brain dump. We got to get all that stuff out because there's so many stories, that we all have, but narrowing down to the ones that's going to make a difference. It's going to make an impact in fact. And so what's number two? Number two, and how not to go overboard, is think about the author's platform. Okay. And again, this has to do with your core message, but your platform. Okay. What are you going to do? Because once you write a book, then what? Or what's next? Or now what? It's like you wrote your book. What do you want to do with it? For many people, it's because they want to become a speaker. And speakers are in high demand. TEDx has so many different versions of it because you're talking maybe 15 minutes, it might be a little less now, about a particular, story for you. And it's just like, so if you want to speak, it's like having your core message and then taking something, and when you're speaking, you don't want to necessarily take everything that's in your book because you want the people to buy your book. But by, focusing on, some of those materials, those examples, what new way can you spin the information that's in your book? If you're talking about how I, became successful online, then what are the 3 steps that are not in your book? Or how did you start off that you did this first before you got to the book? So being able to spend, what is in your book in different ways before you get out there is a great way for you to build your author's platform. Because the thing is, it can be a landing page, it can be a website in which you just have information about yourself. And so, hey, Jimmy, good to see you. And so one of the things is that, for you to be able to see what it is that you're doing for your author's platform, and then the thing about it is, so if you're speaking, you're at an event and you're speaking and people are hearing about your core messages, hearing about the different applications of your book, then when it's time to buy the book, that might be at the back of the room or on the side on the table, then people will purchase your book because they're excited, not only to reinforce what you've just been talking about on that stage, but also to have it as part of their life. Okay. And then the third way not to go overboard in writing your book is save it for the second book or third book or whatever book it is. It's like you have more than enough material that you can have multiple books. And by doing number one, which is having a core message, you can know, does this information fit my message? And if you have a lot of information, but it's too much for one book, like, you can do a book that's 60 to 80 pages and be fine. But if you have more points or it goes further, if maybe one particular point or message in your book goes a little further than you want to put in this book, save it for the next one. Have part 2, volume 2, you can have a whole series, of books. And that's the thing. Don't limit yourself, by trying to cram everything into one book. understand that the reason you have more is so that you can do more and that more people can benefit from what it is that you have. Okay. Now, I know this was 3 quick points. It was a lot though, but just in case you have not even started writing your book, I want you to join me tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'm going to be doing a live training on how to take your life story and put it into a book. Now, that's the thing. For many people, they've been trying to write a book. They've been thinking about writing a book. Thank you for the love. They've been trying, they just don't know where to get started. So that's one of the things that I will be dealing with tomorrow. It's like, where do I even get started? And it's about taking your life, taking the aspects of your life and how do we break it down? Well, I break it down for you. I give you so much good information tomorrow, application, practical things that you can do. You don't have to wait. Like oftentimes when I ask people, how long have you wanted to write a book? What's been getting in the way? They're like 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, one person said. So it's like, it doesn't need to take you 50 years to write your book. You can actually get your book done in 90 days. You can get it done in 6 months, but 6 months is better than a year or 5 years, you can definitely get your book done. I have a number of people and it's like that we're almost at publish, like about 5 we've already done about 25. So getting you to publish is something that I have a heart for, and I definitely want to help people do, because your story is worth sharing. Your story is worth letting the world know, and it can be inspirational. In fact, it can actually be, here are the steps you need to change your life, or do this and see your life move forward. Sometimes you got to let go of things, like how to really forgive, how to really let go, how to change your life just by changing one habit. If you're someone who's a list, has a list for everything, you might write a book on how to keep track of your list, or how to put the right things on your list so you get them, or how to check off everything on your list. There are unlimited combinations of the things that you can write about. And sometimes you just have to sit back and just let the thoughts come, so that you can know, what is it that I need to relay? So I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I've been talking today on Write It Out Wednesday about how not to go overboard in writing your book. And I gave you 3 keys, and they were: number 1, have a core message. Number 2, think about your author's platform. And number 3, rush to write another book, because you don't have to put everything in that one book. And then also I wanted to share with you that I'll be doing a live training tomorrow. And I'll put a link down below. If you have not registered, you have to register for the training. It's on how to turn your life story into a book. It will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow online. So how to turn your life story into a book. You may see some ads for it. And then another thing that I'm working on is a Storytellers and Scribes, a weekend intensive. I have a lot of people that they just need help. They're like, I just need a couple days just to sit down and bang it out. Well, I have heard you. I'm listening. I'm like, I want to help you. So I'm working on that. I will be posting on it soon. Weekend intensive to just bring you together, whether online or we can figure something out in person if that's applicable at the time. But definitely we can do it online and get it done. Sometimes you just need that big push, to jumpstart you and just get it done. Okay, so we're working out a weekend intensive so we can help you get done. Okay, because sometimes just that beginning part of your book is that push you need, so that you don't have to keep thinking about it and holding paper and loose paper and never moving forward. It's time to move forward. It's time to let go of the excuses, the reasons why you can't. It's like you can do anything you put your mind to. Did you know that? You can do anything you put your mind to. And I'm a strong believer that what we say out of our mouth is key to what we're going to do. It's like, so what are you saying? What are the words you're saying? I'm a word girl. So words and editing and books and all that is part of my life. I'm in my office now. You see all my books behind me. But the thing is, it's like, what are you saying with your life? What are you saying? Because the key is, are you saying things that are leading you towards your purpose? Are you saying things that are leading you towards the fulfillment of the things that you said you want to do? I'm the name of my company is Power to Excel, and the power to excel is in us. The thing that you need, the power is inside of you to do that thing that you've been put on this earth to do. And so I'm glad I get to support people in writing their stories and helping them to publish their books. That's such a joy for me. So what is it that you do? Let's get your story told. Let's move forward this year. It's August. We only have a few more months left in this year. And again, it's been quite a year. You know, we got through 2020. It's 2021 now. So let's move forward. Let's not put off tomorrow what we don't know what's going to happen. Okay. So let's move forward. I will put a link down below for my live training tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. See you then. Bye.